Well, hello, and thanks for watching another episode of ARFCOM News, your twice-weekly dose of the finest 2A propaganda. Green-shirted gang members in Apple Valley, California stand proudly boasted about their total contempt for both the Second Amendment as well as the Fourth Amendment when they arrested a guy for having a gun.
You don't have any rights.
That's literally it. According to the Victor Valley News, San Bernardino County Sheriff deputies pulled a car over for a traffic violation, then claimed an empty holster generated probable cause for a search. Now, I'm not a lawyer because I don't even know what puppy meat tastes like, but a holster is not evidence of any crime. They absolutely could order the driver out of the vehicle and then they could search his person for weapons, but that isn't what they did. They searched his car and found a gun. Now, if a holster was something that could only be used for illegal purposes, they could have a reasonable claim to probable cause. But even under the draconian and unconstitutional Calistani restrictions on gun rights, there are plenty of lawful uses for a holster.
Holster your buns.
Oh, got it.
And they didn't arrest the poor guy for felon in possession or anything like that. They arrested him for carrying a gun that wasn't registered to him. The reason I bring this up is this sort of thing happens every day. People talk about the government confiscating arms as if they're gonna stack up and go door to door, but what it really looks like is local law enforcement casually violating the Fourth Amendment and the Second Amendment right in front of your eyes and daring you to do something about it.
I didn't think you had it in you.
I'm your huckleberry.
But hey, it would be impossible for us to produce quality 2A propaganda without sponsors. So let's pay some bills. Today's video is sponsored by Vortex. The Vortex Defender line features a constant on emitter with no flicker and shake awake, so it's always ready. The Defender CCW is impressively compact for daily carry, the ST is a bit larger, and the XL is an absolute beast with one of the largest windows available on a micro dot. And now, all three are available with a green reticle. And by Springfield Armory. Imagine a 9mm carbine with roller delay action just like Kraut's Space Magic. Now imagine it didn't have garbage ergonomics. Introducing the Kuna from Springfield Armory. Kuna gives you that roller delayed smooth recoil you're looking for with a reversible, non-reciprocating charging handle and MB absolutely everything. And by Colt. I know you. You've had enough of store brand imitations and you are ready for the real thing. Whether it's the classic 1911, legendary revolvers like the Python, or truly mil-spec ARs, Colt is the original, everyone else is the knockoff. Apparently, Florida man is fed up with drones taking pics of his naughty bits because Senate Bill 1422 would make it legal for homeowners to use reasonable force to stop a drone under 500 feet from spying on them. Is this a real problem? Are Florida men spying on each other with drones all the time? I don't know. What's reasonable? I think birdshot goes without saying. Shooting larger projectiles up into the air has just too much potential for hurting some uninvolved person or damaging their property. But even if you're safe about how you shoot it, just the falling drone could hurt people.
You were droning on.
It won't necessarily drop directly onto your property, you know. And irrespective of state law, the FAA still considers it really illegal to shoot at aircraft. Like, they don't have any sense of humor about that at all. But let's be honest, only some kind of creep flies a drone over some other person's house, and it's probably better for that creep if his expensive toy gets broken than for somebody to spot his location using their own drone and Florida woman is getting evicted for defending herself. A man tried to break into her apartment at the Carlton in Fort Myers, and she gave him the what for?
You don't have to die.
Shuffling him off this mortal coil. But it turns out the guy she shot lived in the same apartment complex. His apartment number was even similar to hers. He also had a gun on him, and Fort Myers police aren't charging the woman, so while it is unfortunate that it appears one tenant killed another tenant in a horrible mix-up, this is hardly her fault. And reading between the lines here, if the guy confused the numbers because he was drunk, he might also have gotten aggressive for the same reason. Technically, the Carlton can kick her out because discharging a firearm is clearly in breach of the contract she signed. But I think it's pretty scummy to do it.
Your client's a scumbag. You're a scumbag.
But if you think that is a gross miscarriage of justice, this next story just might push you over the edge. It appears Florida police summarily executed a man simply for having a gun.
Want to elaborate on that?
Hillsborough County deputies responded to a man with a gun call and found a man wearing camouflage clothing, a PC, and carrying a rifle. Deputies did issue commands to drop the gun, but there is no indication whatsoever the man made any threatening statement or action before they absolutely smoked him.
Gotta smoke him.
Although Chief Deputy Joseph Maurer refers to the dead man as a suspect multiple times in his press conference, he did not actually elaborate about what crime the man was suspected of committing. He did seem nearly on the verge of tears as he described how scary the guy's clothing was.
Whatever his intentions were not peaceful. You don't dress in Army fatigues with a tack vest, with body armor, a fully loaded assault rifle, and comms on your head to do anything peaceful.
Buongiorno.
Or as I like to call it, Tuesday.
Predictably, the legacy media is simply parroting the department's story with zero skepticism. Not one reporter asked what crime the guy was suspected of, or whether he had made any attempt to harm someone. The man they killed had no violent history. In fact, the only offenses at all on his record were 2 misdemeanors, one for trespassing and one for weed. Now, allow me to reiterate. The man they killed had no history of violence, was not behaving in a threatening manner, was accused of no crime whatsoever, and even the police aren't saying he was a credible threat. They executed him simply because he did not drop his lawfully carried gun quickly enough. One of the shooters, Courtney Baldwin, had been a deputy for only 6 months prior to this event. No word on who fired first. Of course, all of this is still developing, and it is entirely possible that new facts could come to the surface, but from this aerial footage, it's pretty clear the man never raised the rifle, and it even looks like a couple of shots landed after he was on the ground and the rifle well away from him. It is not looking good for these deputies. What do you think is the over-under on how long it takes to get unedited body cam from this event? Remember, if agents of the state can murder you on site for simply having a gun, we do not have a right to bear arms. If you want to tell Chief Deputy Joseph Maurer what a scumbag he is, you can reach him at 813-247-8200. If Spam Blondie ever does make good on her promise to investigate state-level abuses of our gun rights, the Minnesota Gun Owners Caucus recommends she should have the DOJ look into a scummy little scam run by Governor Walz and his cronies in collaboration with Everytown.
The usual suspects.
Apparently, they have been holding a legal clinic at the University of Minnesota Law School that uses your tax dollars to teach lawyers how to use lawsuits to harass gun owners and lawful businesses. Of course, people have a right to discuss and teach whatever they wish, no matter how reprehensible it is. But they don't have a right to use your tax dollars to fund legal activism to subvert our constitutional rights. Can I get an amen?
Gundustry news.
Mossberg just released the 990 Aftershock, which is a cute little stockless semi-auto 12 gauge that holds 6 rounds, including one in the chamber. It has a nylon strap on the fore end to keep your phalanges away from the loud end, and several M-lock slots. Maybe a not shotgun with no stock isn't the most practical thing, but you could always form one it to put a stock on it, and it's okay to like things just for being fun and badass, and nobody can deny this would be fun and badass. CZ just dropped the Shadow Carry 2, which has a decocker, which helps prevent decocking if you carry appendix, an optic cut in the shield pattern, co-witness height irons, and the legendary quality which has led to the Shadow dominating in IPSC and USPSA. And now, for your moment of zen. Hello, friend. Do you like pews and pew-related things? Would you like to help us keep delivering you pew? We'd literally couldn't pay the bills without our sponsors, so do us a solid and get yourself something nice from them. You deserve it. I love you.